Hey everyone, let's jump right into today's explainer. We're unpacking something absolutely crucial to wealth and finance, something that honestly gets glossed over way too often. We are talking about the mechanics of compound interest. We're going to break down exactly how your money actually grows over time. So let's get into it. So, how exactly does money make more money? I know it kind of sounds like magic or maybe a trick question, right? But this is literally the absolute core of wealth generation. We aren't talking about working more hours or, picking up a second job. We're talking about the cold, hard mathematical reality of capital multiplying itself. By the end of this explainer, you're going to have a crystal clear understanding of the exact mechanism that makes this happen. Section 1, what is compound interest? The engine of growth. Okay, so here's the definition. Compound interest is basically interest earned on both the original amount of money, which we call the principal, and the interest that has already been added. The really crucial point here is that your growth is happening on two separate fronts at the exact same time. Now, most of us get the first part, right? You put money in, you get a percentage back. But that second half, that's where the real magic happens. You are literally earning money on the money your money already made. It's this incredible dual action growth cycle. To keep it super simple, just remember these three words: interest on interest. It's honestly the most direct way to lock this core concept right into your brain. You aren't just earning interest on your initial deposit, you're earning interest on your interest. It's like building a house, right? You lay the foundation, and then it builds on top of that foundation, over and over again, just completely revving up that engine of growth. Section 2. The formula explained. Let's demystify the math. All right, don't let the math scare you. It's just 5 simple variables coming together to dictate your financial future. Let's walk through them. A represents the final amount. That's your destination, your end goal. P is your initial principal, basically the starting amount you actually put in. Then there's R, which is the annual interest rate. We always write this as a decimal just to make the math work out. Next up is N, and this is a big one. It represents the number of times the interest is compounded per year. Is it happening annually, monthly, daily? That is your N. And finally, T is the number of years. When you plug these inputs in, you're essentially mapping out exactly how your money is going to behave over time. It's a completely predictable engine. Moving on to Section 3, a 3-year example. Let's actually watch the money grow. Okay, picture this scenario. You invest a principal of $1,000 today, and you lock in a 5% annual interest rate, compounded once a year. We're going to track this for exactly 3 years. So we've got our P, our R, our N, and our T. Now let's see what happens to A, our final amount. Let's look at year 1. You start with your $1,000 principal. At the end of the year, that 5% interest kicks in, and boom, you end up with $1,050. Simple enough, right? But here is where it gets interesting. In year 2, you aren't starting with just $1,000 anymore. You're starting with $1,050. So your 5% interest is now being calculated on a bigger base. You don't just make $50 again, you make $52.50, ending the year at $1,102.50. Now follow that to year 3. The year starts at that new higher amount. The 5% applies to this even larger number, bringing your total to $1,157.63. Do you see that snowball effect? By the second and third years, you are explicitly making money not just on your original $1,000, but on the interest from the previous years too. Which brings us to this number, $1,157.63. Now, that extra $7.63 might seem kind of small right now, but it's massive in what it represents. It's the interest on interest actually kicking in. It is literal proof that the engine has turned over and is actively running. And the longer you leave that engine running, the more aggressive and steeper that growth curve becomes. Section 4, compound versus simple interest, the crucial difference. So as we've seen, compound interest is incredibly dynamic. It adapts and it grows by calculating on the original principal plus the previous interest. But simple interest? That is calculated only on the original principal, forever. To put that in perspective, if you had simple interest in our last example, you would only ever earn exactly $50 each year. Year 1, $50. Year 10, $50. Year 30, still $50. The interest you earn stays completely flat because simple interest entirely ignores your previous growth. It fundamentally lacks that engine we've been talking about. So I'll leave you with this. How does understanding interest on interest change your perspective on long-term growth? Now that you've seen the actual mechanics of how money literally creates more money, how are you going to apply this engine to your own financial journey? Because honestly, the math is undeniable. I I really hope this explainer has empowered you with a clear, direct understanding of this total game changer of a concept. Keep learning, keep focusing on those mechanics, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.